trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's noted in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach regret even letting them stay in the game. Team morale took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just try not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on smash. Put on the gas. I will not crash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, dog. This be the green light, go. Tires burn the pavement. People want to know where Mace, Potts, and Dave went. Still here, still in your ear with a style so hot, you'll see where all the sun rays went. Legs, arms, ahead, all being moved in a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter right. Turn it up, we giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Gentlemen. When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, pass to your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather. Cardio kingpin, subjugate the dub play. And you know we can't wait to bring spins. A-star quizzes, A+ the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years, so you can say we got 3 turns. Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men. We install doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the ground. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. We're leaving the kings of all crowns. Are you ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter right. Turn it up, y'all, peak the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all, peak the flow. Are you ready? Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter right. Turn it up, we giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? But can you rock it like rocket fuel?
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Check three.
They'll run on first down. Jefferson. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive.
Choose the mic.
Jackson from the shotgun. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play call to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys. Go. Right there. 54, right there. Bam. You can't block me. You can't block me. Shit.
2nd and 1. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. In for the score as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November, but they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. On 3rd down, Jefferson, and he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
And the Cowboys down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Jackson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Marcus Davenport in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, in first place in their division, looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for everyone possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
Out of bounds at the 42-yard line. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Get the ball. Check 52.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. They're going to look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Hey, lock it. Hey, high 7.
And to give this time to the tailback. And some room to maneuver. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. It's a gain of 34. He covered a lot of ground, great blocking, and now they can sniff that end zone.
They certainly can, and because of that run, maybe you come back and fake it to him on this play and throw a little play action. Someone should break wide open.
And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On second down, Jefferson. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
That's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. Second and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold him just a couple and force a third down.
The Cowboys on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. From the gun, it's Jackson. And he finds a man on a crossing route. Yeah, he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a give right side. Jefferson. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 7, Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they, when they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball's thrown, and this one they help force another incompletion.
And this one is right down Broadway. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
10 yards, good for a Saints first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Now this time he'll look to throw. And that's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Second and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Under 10, under 10, 10. Big rip.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. He'll return it from the 6. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Play action. Now Jackson. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
In your face.
Watch the pass.
Jackson on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game.
He's checking crap.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the 1st half. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now a handoff here to his running back. 5 yards gets him back near the original line of scrimmage as he'll be left with a 3rd and long. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this 1st half.
Check 3. Hey, stand off. 5.
Now they try the right side here. And they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the 1st. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the 1st half.
It's 4th down.
And this one is right down the middle. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
That's fielded in the end zone. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Check 13. Check 13. Rock it. Hey, Delta. Let's go.
Then he'll give it here to his running back. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Give him 18 there, and the Saints have a first down. So from Cowboy territory now, here's first and 10 at the 38. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Ready? 10 Lobo. Come on, hey, Alpha. 55, my guy, 55. Come on, D. Yo, go.
Second and 13. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. That catch good for 5. It's third down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. First and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. A great move, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. Call it a gain of 4. Leaves him with options here on second and just a yard.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Check 59, Mike. Hey. Defense.
He'll look to throw. And he's got it. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast, game the second half, no matter what, with those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
We got this at their own 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Jackson to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Lamb. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards there, a first down. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. And again this time to the tailback. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now the 2nd down throw on target. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. But he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
And here is a leaping catch. He pulled it in. He'll get 15 and a Saints first down. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
You got time right there. Joker, 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 Joker. Check 24, check 24. Watch the edge. 61, matchbox lights. Hey, orbit. Hey, one set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Hey, let's get that ball here. Ready?
2nd and 5. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Saints on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll set up to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. DeMarcus Lawrence make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he fields it cleanly. 12 yards on the... return that time. And that will come the offense as they take over. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Jackson. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Marcus Davenport. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. From the gun, Jackson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field, and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Taken in at the 22. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ball game. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made, hasn't slowed them, hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. 2nd and 11. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
3rd and 2.
The Saints on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. That's going to be caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 11 on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll increase their lead to 28. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Jefferson, he takes this for 3 to the 29.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Cowboys on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Now it's Jackson. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And they're going to get this all the way out past the 20. A gain there of 21 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Back to throw now on 1st down. He sets to fire deep. This is caught inside the 15. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sheldon Rankins abruptly ends that play with a sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On third down, Jefferson. And he's going to be taken down right at about the 15-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's fourth down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Fielded at about the 28. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest.
Got it. 54. Mike 54.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that. But there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, getting the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Saints, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, they drop back to 500 now at 4 up and 4 down. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess. I'ma tell the risk I was never at the end. I would never